Good evening and welcome to the 1989 Mini Miss Yuba Sutter Pageant. Actually, this is the pre-pageant show, and I'm Melanie Hall with my co-host, Dr. Robert Peppercorn. Thanks for joining me this year.
It's a pleasure, Melanie. This is, I think, our 4th or 5th year. I can't remember how many we've done like this.
Well, it's the 4th for us together, but it is actually the 5th Mini Miss Pageant.
It's exciting to see how the fair is growing in attendance. They expect 70,000 people here this year. Last night for the Miss Yuba Sutter Pageant, this area, the Pepsi Garden Pavilion, was jammed with people. There must have been 600 or 700 people here.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised by looking at the parking situation out there. I would guess that there would be quite a few people coming out tonight.
A lot of exciting things happening. Major businesses have booths all over, great agricultural exhibits, fantastic photography, things we're going to see today on the show.
That's right, and if they're ready in the van, they'll probably want to get into our first segment. I had the opportunity today to go to the flower exhibit, and it's something nobody's going to want to miss this year.
Did your allergies flare up?
I don't have any of those, fortunately, so I was just fine in there.
Why don't we go and take a look at the horticulture display?
Suzette Davis has been good enough to talk to us today about the flower exhibit hall. In what capacity are you working with the fair now?
I'm the business assistant in the main office.
But at one time you yourself were the manager of this building?
Yes, I was the superintendent of the flower building.
What made you decide to move on?
I was offered the job in the administration office.
And so you went for it. I don't blame you. Now tell us quickly, what is the criteria that the judges are going to be looking for today?
On the cut flowers, it's going to be the bud, the leaves, the coloring, how they're holding up, and how they did as far as the cutting, and they put them in the right categories.
Now, I do understand that the flowers change from day to day. Tomorrow, is it tomorrow that the roses will be brought in?
Tomorrow will be all roses.
So during the 5 days, the different flowers will be brought in, but nothing stays the same in the flower category? The plants stay throughout the 5 days?
The plants stay the whole 5 days, and every single day there are different varieties of cut flowers.
Is it the same judges throughout the week that judge all these flowers? Because if I'm to understand correctly, there could be well over 2,000 entries after this is over.
Easily, but we have different judges every day.
And how many judges does it take?
7 judges total. 2 on the first day because of the full building happen to be judged. That's your plants, your cut flowers, your arrangements, and your gardens.
Now, who is it that decides what plants or what flower arrangements get to go in the beautiful shadow box displays?
First entries that are put in for the shadow boxes will receive the shadow boxes, and then they draw for numbers to decide which shadow box they receive.
Now, is there a certain entry date that everybody is welcome to enter their arrangements? I would imagine there'd be a bombardment of people wanting to get into that spot.
You can put your entries in every single day until 10 o'clock in the morning.
Wow, it's just an overwhelming display. Everybody needs to come out and take a look at it, and we do want to thank you for taking the time to explain it to us.
Show the building. It's beautiful.
It is. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The horticulture display is one of only many, many interesting displays here at the 1989 Yuba Sutter Fair. What else are we going to see tonight, Melanie?
Oh, we'll see other exhibits. I'm afraid we're not going to get to see some of the exhibits they covered last night, like the photography hall and the agricultural building. But we'll get a chance to talk to a 4-H kid and find out what she did with her cow and how her heifer did and things of that nature. If you're wondering what's going on behind us, there's a fashion show going on, and there's still time to come down and take advantage of all the fun things that are going on at the Yuba Sutter Fair. There's people trickling into the arena here to watch the upcoming pageant, and there's food booths as always. There's all kinds of rides, and just fun for everybody.
I want to invite our viewers to stop by my KOBO 1450 AM radio booth, where we've got the first mini news van going all over the fair with a live coverage from this area right to the radio station, right on the air through the whole fair. So after you watch the great coverage here on Continental Cable TV, and this will be broadcast again throughout the week and probably next week too, you can turn on KOBO and hear us also as the fair goes on through Sunday.
Now, you're personally involved with the radio station, isn't that correct?
Right, I'm president of the radio station. I took over the operation last November. It's exciting. We have a new general manager doing a lot of big things. 5 news reporters. We're out there covering things all over town.
Speaking of new general managers, we have one of those here at the Yuba Sutter Fair, don't we?
That's right. Judy Habel is her name. Isn't that right?
She's doing a wonderful job. And from what I hear in the office when I was in there earlier, everything seems to be running quite smoothly this year.
I'm impressed with how the interest in the fair seems to be picking up year after year with a dramatic increase this year. I'm just so pleased to see that happening. 70,000 people. What event in this community covers 70,000 people?
I can't think of any.
Well, they tell me in the director's booth that we're ready to go to your tour of the, actually the arena with the 4-H Cow Championship.
That's right. Let's take a look at that. Kathy Hoffman's with us. And Kathy, how old are you?
I'm 13.
And how long have you been competing?
For 5 years in 4-H, but before 4-H I showed in open.
What made you decide to go into 4-H then?
Well, because my sisters, both my sisters, I have two older sisters that were in 4-H, so I just kept going on.
They were kind of a major influence in your decision?
Yeah.
Now tell us, today you've already competed in 3 judging areas.
Mm-hmm.
They all won, but what are the different classes they were in?
Okay, my heifers, they were in their different ages. One is a February and one is a June. And the February is a junior yearling and the June is a summer yearling. And my steer is a market animal, so he'll be butchered in a couple days.
You don't seem too happy about that.
Oh, yeah.
Explain to us about the reserve champion. I understand one of them is just that.
Yeah, my steer was a reserve champion. You have individual classes for your animals. Like the steer is weight division, so he was in with other animals too. But he won his class, and then you go in for champion, grand champion, and reserve, and I ended up with reserve champion. So
that's very impressive still. Tell us quickly, you are going to send the one off for auctioning. How does that make you feel when you spend so much time grooming and taking care of the animal, and then to let them go at the end and you know their fate?
Well, it gets sad, but I mean, you don't really think about it until like the last minute, and then it's really sad.
And every year you've been giving one up for auction?
Yeah.
So next year, are you going to come back and do the same thing?
Uh-huh.
With your other 2 animals, do you keep them and show them at different fairs?
Yes. My next fair is California State Fair, and I'll show those too, so.
Are you all geared up for it?
Yeah.
But we want to wish you a lot of luck and continued success.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the 1989 Yuba Sutter Fair. I'm Dr. Robert Peppercorn. This is Melanie Ha. Melanie, we're counting down now 24 minutes to go before the Mini Miss pageant begins.
Right, and everybody seems to be pretty excited. There's a lot of people moving in to take advantage of what's going on tonight there on that stage.
Still plenty of time to get here. The main parking lot on Franklin Avenue, they tell us, is filling up. You may have to check the other parking lots on the other side of the fairgrounds or on Garden Highway. So be careful, drive carefully, put your seatbelts on, and we'll see you here at the Mini Miss pageant. You know, last night I got to watch a hypnotist here at the fair, and I couldn't believe it. He had 5 or 6 people on the stage, and he was able, it looked like he was able to hypnotize them. One guy acted like he was Elvis Presley. And oh, I just couldn't believe it. He was dancing. You believe in that, Melanie?
Well, I believe that it can happen if you're susceptible to it. Some people just don't believe in hypnotism, and so they're not able to go under into the trance. And it's really based on suggestions. So he just suggests the ideas to them, and their own personalities take over.
Well, I can't imagine going up on the stage and being hypnotized to act like Elvis Presley.
Actually, you just become totally uninhibited. They just suggest something, and you take over.
Well, I understand Gene Norman had a chance to meet with the hypnotist.
Yes, that's Terry Stokes, and if they're ready in the van, I'd like to take a look at that segment.
I hope I don't get hypnotized. The last night was the Miss Yuba Sutter Pageant, and there was a difference. What was that difference last night?
The hosts actually were the very big difference. Last year and the years prior to this event, we've always had our Ron Hedeke, who is the coordinator for the fair, and it was an interesting change. We had 2 hosts last night, Bobby Lynn, and I forget the gentleman's name. Maybe you might be able to help me.
No, I'll have to look it up on your paper here.
Anyway, we'll let you...
Bobby Lynn and Steve Jordan. Right, very good.
They're a talented group from the Bay Area, and they came in and did the show for us last night, and they'll be back tonight.
Different image. After you judge and let us know what you think here at Continental Cable TV Channel 5, right at 311 B Street. Let us know your opinion on how you like the hosts here, and we'll let them know. You had a chance earlier today to meet Jennifer Duggan, last night's winner of Miss Yuba Sutter.
Right. She's a very down-to-earth girl. We had an interesting conversation earlier today after the rehearsal for the Mini Miss pageant contestants. And if they have it ready in the van, we'd like to take a look at that segment.
I ought to mention that she was sponsored by Jane's of Yuba City and Bradley's of Marysville. Never enough to mention the sponsors.
Absolutely.
Let's meet Jennifer Duggan, Miss Yuba Sutter 1989.
Duggan's been good enough to take time out of her busy, hectic schedule and give us a quick interview. Jennifer, the pageant was just last night. It's over. It must feel like a major relief, but no one can actually know what it's like to be standing on the stage and wondering, is it going to be me? Tell us, what was the first thing that went into your mind other than, oh my God, after you heard that you were Miss Yuba Sutter?
Well, the very first thing I did was look for my mom in the audience because I knew that she would be as thrilled for me as honored and surprised as I was. And then I looked to Colleen because she was my dance teacher for a long, long time, and then when I quit, and then she's the pageant director, so I came back and she was real happy for me too. It was just kind of neat to have all my friends around.
That's great. Who did you call first?
This morning I called my father, and last night my Aunt Artis in Indiana, she said, call me no matter what time it is, and so we called her right away.
They must have been thrilled for you. Now, what was your talent last night? Because a lot of people didn't get to see it.
It was a tap dance.
And how long did it take you to prepare for the pageant, and who do you have to credit for getting you there?
Well, it was kind of a last-minute decision, and it's been the last month of a lot of hard work. I bought my dress and got my talent together in this last month, and it all kind of came together right, I guess.
Who is it that kind of persuaded you to get involved?
A good friend of the family, Janice Lithgow, her little daughter's in the Mini Miss pageant, and my mom.
This is going to be a busy year for you coming up because you are a college student. You're involved in all kinds of activities. How do you suppose you're going to juggle this? Because I know that you said last night you wanted to make Miss Yuba Sutter more visible and get her involved more, but like I said, you're in Davis. You've got a lot of things to do.
I'm going to have to take a light load for the year, I think, and I think the job might just have to go, and I'm just going to have to keep on top of things, keep organized, and make sure I'm where I have to be when I say I'm going to be there.
Now, this may put you behind in your studies. Do you see that maybe you might not graduate when you anticipated?
I was on the 4-year plan up until now, and it might take just a little bit longer than that now, maybe a summer school or an extra quarter.
I know it's hard for you to predict this, but do you think it's going to be worth it?
From everything I've heard, it's definitely going to be worth it.
Are there going to be any more pageants for you in the future? I know Miss California State's in your future. Other than that, are you going to get involved in any more?
I think this was kind of my last hurrah, and I was real surprised to win. I didn't expect to be going to Miss Cal State at all, but I think that'll be the last one.
Well, we're very excited. We're very excited for you, and I know you're really busy. You're going to have to come back again tonight, so we don't want to take any more of your time, but thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Good luck.
13 minutes counting down to the beginning of the 1989 Mini Miss pageant at the Yuba Sutter Fair. Melanie, it seems like every year we come out here, I never have a chance to eat dinner.
Well, why don't you come out a little bit sooner? You don't know what you're missing.
Tremendous variety of food here at the fair. If you haven't had a good selection of foreign food, junk food, corn dogs, I shouldn't say junk food, it's fun food, you can get it here at the fair on the Midway. Oh, must be 20, 30 different types of food booths to check out.
The dentist must have a lot of business after this thing is over.
Actually, tonight's Mini Miss event is sponsored by Dr. McKee, a dentist, and so we'll learn more about him later on tonight. How's the turnout been this afternoon as you were going around the fair?
Actually, it was a little bit disappointing. I don't know if they opened the gates a little bit late this year or what was that, because when I tried to go out to do my interviews for this afternoon, there just wasn't that many people around, and it was real unfortunate because I would have liked to have talked to the man that's responsible for the Midway activities. Last year, I was able to track down Sam Johnson, and he's a very interesting man. And
did you get to try the rides?
Well, I'm trying to stay clear of those. After last year's event up on the slide, we don't really want to go into too much detail. Okay, I thought maybe I'd redeem myself this year, and they've taken the slide out, unfortunately. I was very disappointed in that.
Well, who did you get to talk to today?
Actually, I did get a chance to, well, I talked to quite a few people. In fact, I talked to the Miss Yuba Sutter that we just saw, and I talked to the people in the flower building, but Judy Johns came in this afternoon, and she was able to talk to some people too. In fact, she was able to track down the steel drum players.
Well, that sounds interesting. Let's check it out.
Hi, I'm Judy.
We're joined now by Colleen Holt. She is the director of tonight's pageant, and she has done a marvelous job. First, tell us who you have with us.
Well, I have here in front of me, this is Miss Nicole Wolcott. She's Miss at Butte County. And I have to my left is Miss Jill Perry, and she's the first ever Mini Miss Colusa County.
Colleen, I know that you have put this one together. You've also been involved with the other two. You're in charge of that dance studio you have. You take those kids on the road, various competitions, recitals. Where do you find time to juggle all this?
It's pretty hard, but I make it all work.
Now, this is the first year that you've done this pageant. Are you going to continue doing that one?
In the Colusa County.
Right.
Yes, it is, and it's going to be an annual event every year.
Are you going to be doing it every year?
Yes, I am.
Boy, I don't know how you do it.
It's really exciting to work with you, Colleen. I have to admit, I've done this now with you for 4 years, and it's better each year.
Thank you very much.
Well, how do you like being involved as the Miss Set for Butte County?
It's nervous.
What's your name?
Nicole Welcott.
It's nice to meet you. And your name is?
Jill Perry.
How do you like being here?
It's fun.
Now I'm going to ask you a political question, which means you can get in trouble. Which fair is better, this fair or the Colusa County Fair?
I think I like the Colusa County Fair.
That's very, I like that too. That way you get good representative at home. Now you can run for Congress. So what else do you have coming up for your work soon?
I have the Miss Butte County Pageant and Miss at Butte County, and then I'm also leaving for a competition in Las Vegas on Saturday for the Joe Tremaine video competition.
Which of your people are in that?
Ryan Heffington, Melissa Moe, Robbie Langell, and Nina Perry.
I was amazed watching Ryan last night, remembering a little boy, now watching someone who must have grown 2 feet in the last year. It seems amazing. Do their talents change as they get bigger?
They just get better and better.
That's fantastic.
Dr. Peppercorn and I were talking earlier about what happens to the girls after they compete at this level. We have seen some tremendous girls come out of this pageant. We had Manpreet Baines the first year, Melissa Moat the second year, Andrea Mooney the next year, and last year we had Dana Larson. What happened to each of those girls after they competed at this level?
Okay, the little girls go on to the California Little Miss pageant, and Melissa Moat was the first runner-up the year that she went, and Andrea was 10th runner-up. And then our Miss Yuba Sutter goes on to the Miss California State pageant, which is a scholarship pageant for only fairs and festival queens.
Now, do they wait a whole year in order to prepare for this and then go on to the state level?
Yes, Serena will be going on the 19th of August.
And so that means that this year's winner, Jennifer Duggan, will be preparing for this next entire year for the following year's state pageant.
Yes, they need a whole year to get ready with their community service and their talent.
Does it seem to have paid off since you've decided to start doing it this way?
Oh, definitely. They need the time to get ready.
Well, it seems to be working out for you, and I just can't believe the tremendous success that you've had with the pageants in the past.
Colleen, thank you very much for coming on our show today. It's a pleasure to work with you. Thank you, Miss at Butte County. Thank you, Miss at Colusa County. It's a pleasure to see you. Thank you very much. Well, we're getting toward the end of our show, and we want to remind you to join us here at Cable Channel 5. We're going to be here starting in just a couple of minutes for the Mini Miss Yuba Sutter 1989-1990. Melanie Ha and I will be right back here in the broadcasting booth. We'll be making some little comments about things. You have to let us know what you think about those comments, but we'll try to watch what we say. And people are still coming in. Melanie, you have anything you want to say before we close our show?
No, I'm just anxiously awaiting it.
Time to still come down, plenty of seats. Join us here at the Yuba Sutter Fair for 1989. Good night, but we're not going to be gone. We'll see you in a few minutes.